Yeah, I'm Keith Dickson, the head men's basketball coach at St. Anselm. My first job out of college full-time was assistant basketball coach at Bentley. So when I first graduated, I went to graduate school and then was lucky enough right from that to become a full-time assistant at Bentley, which I was for 4 years. You know, St. Anselm, I think to me, and I say this all the way through recruiting, is like, when you find a place that's a good fit for you, St. Anselm and Keith Dickson sort of just matched up. You know, I got to coach the kind of kids that I wanted to coach. They were kind of students that we wanted to have in our program, and they cared deeply about the game of basketball. So I'd say for me, it's been the kind of people and players that we've been able to recruit in our program over the last 30 years. What brought me to St. Anselm? I was actually left Bentley and got out of coaching. And I was in California, so working outside of sports, and St. Anselm opened up a position for their first full-time men's basketball assistant, and I wanted to get back in, you know, so I was, I guess, deeply overqualified. I'd already been at Bentley for 4 years. The pay cut was incredible. My wife, I don't know how she let me do it. And we came because there was an open position that got us back in New England, to be quite honest with you. You know, when I was at Bentley, St. Anselm did not have a very good program. And then when Bob Brown took over, and he was the guy who hired me, things started to turn in the direction, and I don't think we've stopped moving it that way since. Well, I'd say it's got to be 2000, when we won the regional in 2000. You know, we were an underdog. You know, we beat Adelphi in the finals, but we had come into that tournament. I think we had lost in the semis at St. Anselm to AIC, and we sort of went into the regional like we had nothing to lose. And I had a terrific team. I mean, that team had Pat Delaney and Joey Ingenieri and Chris Tardio and Kevin Sheehy, and you know, to go down there and beat a heavy favorite, Adelphi was really heavily favored, in the way that we did was actually quite thrilling. And you know, I've been here 30 years, and we've got to that game 5 times and only been able to pull it off that once. So that's still a great memory for me. I guess when I'm healthy, you know, I picked up tennis about 5 years ago, so I've been playing a lot of tennis. I just had hip replacement surgery, so I'm sort of on the shelf. But I play tennis. I read consistently from off season and in season, so I read quite a bit. And listen to music. I love music. Yeah, I think coaching was the last thing that I thought I would do. To be honest, you know, I was at UNH and played there, and we didn't. You know, I had a fine career. You know, I'm not upset at my career, but we did not win as much as I was used to in high school, and I was a little bit down. You know, so I went and went to graduate school, and just happened to, part of that was being an assistant. And then the Bentley job opened up. I just sort of rolled into it. You know, I found that I really enjoyed it. That it was something that I think I was probably meant to do. In that year I got out, you know, when I left Bentley and went into the private sector, it was really reinforced to me that there's some people that are supposed to coach, and I think I was one of them. And that without it, I was sort of incomplete. So. But if you had told me coming out of UNH that I'd end up being a coach, I'd be like, absolutely not. So I think I sort of just fell into it. Probably favorite sports team, probably Barcelona Football Club. You know, it's like I could go with the Celtics, but I'm not going to, so I'm going to go with Barcelona. Larry Bird, probably. You know, I was coming out at the same time that Larry Bird, and I watched Magic and Larry Bird play. And there have been so many great athletes in Boston. You know, it's like really that's where I'm from, and I've been in New England my whole life. But I've got a special place in my heart for Larry Bird. Honestly, thinking. You know, most of my work is done prior to the bus trip. So on the way to the game, it's really just I'll look over our scouting report. I'll deal with the statistics of our opposing team. I think about what we have to do, and then on the way home, I break down every tape of the game that we just played, and normally I'll start that on the trip home. So on the way, there's just a lot of reflection about the game, but on the way home, there's work to be done. If you save yourself a couple hours in the morning, then I like to do it that way. Ooh, we watched Concussion, I think, last week, which was actually a very, very interesting movie. So we watch movies fairly often. I've been more into, when I was down with my hip, I watched the whole seasons of The Sopranos, which I have never watched, and I'm in season 5 of Breaking Bad right now, so we don't have time for movies if I'm watching all those shows. My most prized possession, isn't this interesting? We were in Spain. We took our team to Spain 3 years ago, I think, and the guys bought me we went to see Barcelona play Levante, so we saw a professional soccer game, and the guys bought me a soccer ball and all signed it. So I'd say that's actually a pretty special thing. It could be your, I don't know, any individual thing. I don't think that's big of a deal, but that was actually pretty cute.